Hello, my name is Jayla Joyner, and my topic I'm going to be discussing today is effects of parenting styles in early and middle childhood. So, first, what is parenting styles? So, parenting styles are many ways parents raise their kids, and it's usually described as how they love, control, and discipline their children throughout their lives. The goal for parenting styles is to raise children who will do well in life and feel loved because the main thing that helps kids thrive and develop is love and affection. So, according to the types of parenting styles and effects on children, it states parents varies widely across families with cultural backgrounds, having a significant role in shaping family dynamics and child rearing practices. This means that culture plays a big role in what type of parent a child gets and how that parenting style is set up. Not all parents act the same, hence, because there are different types and they differ from culture, which shape how their kids are raised. So, the different types of parenting styles. So, like I said, that can vary because there are different parenting styles. The four main parenting styles are authoritative parenting, authoritarian parenting, permissive parenting, and uninvolved parenting. So, authoritative parenting is they're loving, but they set clear rules and expectations. Authoritarian parenting is when parents are strict and they expect obedience without showing much affection. In permissive parenting, they are very loving but have few rules and limits. In uninvolved parents, they're barely involved or responsive to their kids' needs. So I'm gonna go into more depth. Authoritative parenting style is a more nurturing relationship between the parent and child. So the parents set clear expectations, as I said, while they also reason behind whenever they're disciplining or punishing their child. So these kids experience more confidence and responsibility while also knowing how to manage their negative emotions more effectively. Authoritarian parents, this is typically a one-way communication where they have strict rules and they expect their kids to follow it without questioning. But they still are loving in a way. So they still show that affection. Based on this article, children raised by authoritarian parents often exhibit well-behaved behaviors due to the consequence of misbehavior. Additionally, they tend to follow precise instructions more effectively to achieve their goals. This is according to the article Types of Parenting Styles and Effects on Children. But this style can also lead to higher levels of aggression and difficulty making decisions on their own because it's on one way and usually the parents is always making a decision and that can really frustrate a kid and cause them to be aggressive. Permissive parenting style is a warm and nurturing. They're warm and nurturing still, but they don't really hold any expectation for the kids. They have few rules and they allow open communication. So now, although it does sound good, this lack of expectation and rules can lead to developing unhealthy even habits. Um, may be impulsive and demanding and struggle with self-esteem because they're not really setting these boundaries or limits or having rules. Because kids need a guidance. They need guidance. They need to know what's right and wrong. And lastly, uninvolved parenting style, as I said, you can hear in the name that it's gonna have bad effects. But in my opinion, this is the worst parenting style. It's where a parent gives their child a high degree of freedom. They don't really tell them what to do at all because they aren't as involved as they should be. They don't develop any discipline and they limit communication with their kids. And they don't provide nutrients or meet any of their needs. So this can make a child feel this can lead to a child struggling with their emotions, being less effective, facing academic challenges, and not getting the love and affection that they need to be successful, which could hurt them in the long run. So we went into depth about all the effects with specific parenting styles. Now I'm just going to tell you the main or the typical or the common ones. So of course the positive is if you have a good parent, loving, don't control, set boundaries, but discipline. They'll feel loved, secure. They'll have rules. They'll have boundaries. They'll know life skills, and they have confidence. The negative will be bad parenting, so they'll be uninvolved with like just parents that don't care. They'll end up fearful, anxious, lack self control, low self esteem, and they'll be rebellious half of the time. So why is it important? Parenting styles are important because it shapes how the child will think, feel, and behave. It affects them emotionally, socially, behaviorally, and academically. And it helps determine if the child will feel secure, independent, and responsible. So, as I said, it will tie into their emotional development, their academic success, and their behavior. So, either it'll be positively or negatively. So, now talking about physical traits, first looking at some typical physical development in childhood. Infancy, basically babies, they grow quickly and they learn to hold their heads up, sit, crawl, and walk. That's physical. Early childhood, 2 to 6 children become more active and coordinated. They can run, jump, draw, and use utensils. In middle childhood, 6 to 12 children grow taller and stronger and develop better motor skills. So, according to this article, parenting styles and their effects on child development and outcomes. Studies found that authoritative parents have better outcomes when it comes to physically developing as opposed to authoritarian or permissive parents. Authoritative parents are usually more supportive while also setting limits, which encourages healthy activities, helping kids develop a good development physically. Authoritarian and permissive parents tend to be more strict and rely on punishments, which can affect motor skill growth and impact kids physically. Going on to cognitive characteristics, this is like thinking, learning, and problem solving. It comes into play. So, children achieve cognitive milestones such as learning to think, as I said, reasoning, remembering, and problem solving problems. Children around 5 years of age can count up to 10, and some can write some letters in their names. And early childhood, which is 2 to 5, is where children begin to develop more advanced thinking, such as solving problems and understanding cause and effect. So, why things happen and what is the result of that happening. So, authoritative parents are more responsive and they result in the child performing better academically rather than other parenting styles. And lastly, we're talking about social characteristics. This is when kids gradually achieve social skills. So this is where children become familiar with interacting with their peers. They following social rules, taking turns, and understanding other people's feelings. So they're not ecocentric anymore. They're starting to know that there are other perspectives and they take that into account. Preschool age students interact with others, deal with frustrations and self-esteem, which shows social emotional behaviors. So, according to Parenting Styles and Social Emotional Development of Preschool Children, kids of authoritative parents tend to show higher social skills and better self control. Kids of authoritarian parents tend to show higher social skills and better self control. Oh, I meant these parents tend to have more trouble socializing. So these kids don't really socialize as good as authoritative, and kids of permissive parents tend to have worse social outcomes compared to authoritative parents because they don't really set these boundaries. This is because it's been shown parenting styles influence social skills and emotional effect. So, the impacts of parenting styles on normal childhood. So, authoritative parenting, the effects that it will have on normal childhood, they'll grow up confident, they're responsible, they'll gain social skills, and they make good decisions. Uninvolved parenting will have an effect on normal childhood as feeling lonely, unsure, trouble academically, lack of guidance. Permissive parenting will be creative. They'll be creative. They'll be expressive. They'll lack self control and they'll struggle to follow rules and take responsibility. Authoritarian parenting, they'll be obedient, but they'll be fearful of their parents or like any adult that's telling them what to do. They'll struggle with self esteem, they'll have trouble making own decisions, and they'll be more anxious. So, how do parenting styles differ from different cultures? Well, I have two different cultures, and I'm going to break it down for three of the parenting styles. So, Western cultures, they'll be United States, authoritative parenting. They'll be they're more independent, have self esteem, and good academic. Um, Permissive parenting, they have behavioral problems and they have poor self control. Authoritarian parenting, is they'll have low self-esteem and more anxiety. And moving on to collectivist cultural, so that'd be Asians. Authoritative parenting, they have respect, family, honor, and they don't show independence, like U.S. Permissive parenting, they'll support community and they'll reduce negative effects. So compared to us, they'll have less negative effects in permissive than we do. And authoritarian parenting, they'll be more caring, they have good behavior, and their academic success. So see, usually authoritarian will be bad effects, but in this cultural agent, they are pretty good. So it all differs. It all comes down to the culture, how they're raised, what they do that will make a difference in the effects. And now prevention, intervention, and postvention. So, for authoritarian parenting, you can prevent this by parenting education programs, encouraging communication. You can intervene by doing counseling, regulate emotions, and active listening. And for postvention, you can do support groups to help parents maintain healthy boundaries. Authoritarian parenting, you can prevent this by early parenting classes, teach parents about child development. For intervention, you can do family therapy, taking more cognitive behavioral approaches. And postvention, you could do supporting families other than conflicts or parenting follow-ups. Permissive parenting for prevention, you can educate on rules and routines, help them get into setting boundaries, setting rules. Intervention, you can coach parents to set limits. Postvention, you can go do ongoing guidance from counselors. And uninvolved parenting, for prevention, you can do early prevention intervention programs, so like social workers. Intervention can be family therapy, parenting skills, and skill classes. And postvention can be long-term mentoring for children, so like rehab. So a little recap, parenting styles are different ways parents raise their children. They shape how kids learn, behave, and interact in the world, and it plays a major role in child development, affecting how they think, feel, and even act. And that's it. Thank you for listening. And here is my reference slides.